We've got a range of new abilities on the Honor Talents. We've got Soul Shatter. It's a 1 minute cooldown. Instant clears all of your damage over time. Overtime effects on the nearest 5 enemies within 40 yards, dealing 10% of their total health. 10% of the total health and shadow damage. For each enemy hit by Soul Shatter. If that all stacks, so you got... there's a lot I can read into that. But I'd sound like I go with Death's Embrace, because the frequency that you can, your corruption and stable affliction agony deal damage is increased by 100% on targets below 30%. So if you're casting on 5 targets, you're getting them hurt, they get down to 30%, then your damage, your dots start really fucking hurting, and that's good. Amplify affliction increases, you know, the cooldowns of those spells, but Rot and Decay means you don't have to cast them because your Drain Soul refreshes them automatically. Can't beat better than that. And this one hasn't been filled out, so it's a bit, what, dollar figure 1% for 10 seconds, what the fuck. I don't think there's enough choice. There's no graphic update for that upgrade. Looks like I'm sure that was 15%. It might have been down to 12% since the last patch. I haven't paid much attention to Affliction. Haunt's great for killing blows and random BGs and stuff like that, but the cooldown's too long. It should be, you know, it should be lower, and most people, if you're using it properly, aren't going to use it unless the target's health is down to a certain point anyway. So, you know, the cooldowns, it's not rewarding. It doesn't make much sense. At the moment, you know, passive ran, passive contagion survivable. That's interesting. That should be baseline. I go model core because health and peel someone off you. That for single target, make you more lifing. Otherwise, soul harvest. Dark pack for the shield, the bubble. Service for the double. What do you call them? Fell hunters for the interrupts. And down here, you know, that for random BGs, you've got AoE dot, can really boost your damage if that's what you're really into. I go with here because I've got a 20% chance to refund the soul shards, and if I'm in a one-on-one fight and I'm popping that out, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Well, okay, fair enough. Yeah, so there's some real confusion. Oh, what's happened there? There's some real strange choices here, some new abilities, these three. This Soul Shadow used to be the get rid of your fear. Get rid of your aggros in PvE. Now it's a PvP talent, renamed, that sort of does like a concentrated AoE damage, as long as everyone stays perfectly for you. And what, you know, so unless I'm reading that wrong, potentially if you're hitting 5 targets with all your dots, would I be correct to suggest that each of those 5 targets 10% damage would then apply? So if you're doing, say everyone's 2 million health, you do 10%, that's 200,000 tons, you know, that's 1 million damage. If it's going to count like that, each enemy hit by the Soul Shadow, 10%, I don't know, I'd say it's probably just, it'll be just 10%, which is 200,000. I don't think it'll all stack by 5, if that makes sense. I'd probably go with Death's Embrace, simply because hurt them, dots get even more deadlier, and shit your pants down. Rot and Decay, too easy. So I think there's damage buffs. I think there's still changes are going. Sort of not happy with the, well, look, destruction is so. Forget about Shadowburn. From what I can see, I can't see any point of taking it, because there's no logical reason to do it, because it's not doing enough damage on its own. But anyway, that's enough. So we've got Affliction, we've talked about Destruction, and Demos had slight nerfing, but I don't want to use the spec that's got long cast times and you're very locked down in your casting. You know, you just you won't have fun in an environment where you're getting overrun. So anyway, that's my breakdown on the PTR.